And good morning, Man Hour Nation. It is Hump Day, October 11th, 2023, 10 a.m. East Coast time, right here at manhourradio.com. Be sure to head out to the website, check it out. We got uh-ohs happening today. Devon Achane is an uh-oh. Jair Alexander is an uh-oh. Jordan Love versus Justin Fields. Who is better? We got some panic or patient mode today. Is it panic in New England? But first.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Man hour, man hour, man hour. We have all seen this post at facebook.com/man hour NFL talk. We have all seen the stats right here that are on the wall. The point of the matter is, guys, that Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. Dak Prescott is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Right there, the stats do not lie. We have a career comparison, head-to-head comparison. Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and Dak Prescott, which is going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Look at this career completion percentage. Peyton Manning, 63%. Dak Prescott, 66%. Yardage, 24,885 to Peyton Manning, 24,943 to Dak Prescott. If you guys look at every stat across the board, Dak Prescott is better in every stat. The only thing that he loses right now is passing touchdowns. Peyton Manning had 167 to Dak Prescott's 166. They're both 2-4 in the playoffs. They both have 10 playoff touchdowns. Peyton Manning has more playoff interceptions. The simple fact of the matter is that Dak Prescott is that guy. Stop sleeping on my guy. Stop dogging my guy. Dak Prescott is the top quarterback in the NFL. Face it, face it, face it. If you guys don't like the stats, right there they are. Go ahead, screenshot it. Talk that shit. But cue that intro.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Combs. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs. You know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA. We the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Go check out the blog section as well. And also, most importantly, check out that listen tab. Once this show is over, once Beastie, Brandon Combs, and myself are over for tonight, I will be posting up the podcast form over there. Guys, we do got a great show for you. We got the uh-ohs. We're going to have Jordan Love versus Justin Fields. Who is better? And then panic mode in New England, Buffalo, and Washington. We will determine if it's panic or patient time in those respected cities. But first, I got to welcome the peanut butter to my ladies, the right-hand man, the calloused, loving person himself, and that is Brandon Beastie Combs. What is up, Combsy?
What is going on, Michael Buckheischer? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? What is up, man? It's a great morning. Got into a fight on Facebook last night about a guy trying to tell me that Jordan Love is not trash. He's definitely trash. Okay. And it wasn't even you, Buck.
It wasn't me.
You Packers apologist.
It's the simple fact of the matter is,
it's not even my homerness. It's not even anything. I like to look at facts. I watch the games. I see how he plays. He's only 5 games in his career, so I'm not saying he can't get better. But what I see on the field is not very good.
Yeah, so we will be talking about that, guys, here in about a half hour here at Man Hour NFL Talk on YouTube and, of course, FacebookLive.com. Guys, if you are in the comments, be sure to let us know that you are here. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We got Jillian in the chat, and like he says, now, Buck, ask anyone if they would take Dak Prescott over Peyton Manning. I know I wouldn't. You wouldn't take Peyton Manning because you saw the last 10 years of his career, not the first 7. Combs, based off those stats that we have out there at Facebook.com, would you take a Dak Prescott or Peyton Manning for your sad team? I'm kind of just curious.
I mean, I would take Peyton Manning,
even though he has 6 playoff interceptions. He is 2-4 playoff win-loss record at this time. 9 rushing touchdowns, 110 interceptions, a passer rating of 88. Dak Prescott is better than everybody, every stat category.
Peyton Manning is not 2-4 playoff record. He's won 2 Super Bowls.
This is the first 7 years of their careers. This is not the whole career. This is the first 7 years.
I'm still taking Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was a more consistent quarterback, especially in the regular season.
More consistent at throwing interceptions.
God,
100,
you
110.
have this way of just saying some stuff. Like it doesn't make sense that you back up Dak Prescott the way that you do.
Why? He's great.
He's got so many weapons. So many weapons. He cannot beat good defenses.
So if you want to talk about Dak Prescott having so many weapons, besides CeeDee Lamb, who is which is arguably a number 1 receiver on their team, I will give you that. He would be a number 1 receiver on any other team as well, besides maybe like the Bengals and Dolphins. What other weapons does he have?
Well, I mean, he's had plenty. And on this team, I mean, Michael Gallup's a nice wide receiver. You got Brandon Cooks. Not to mention, you got Tony Pollard in the backfield.
Okay. So when you look at Justin Fields,
he has
he has
5
DJ
offensive
Moore.
line.
When healthy, of course. They have a lot of injuries.
But over the years, let's talk about a top tight end in the league. You talk about type wide receivers year in and year out.
He hasn't had Jason
and
Witten for
what's
3
his
years,
playoff
4 years.
record? By the way,
he is 2-4.
And how many times has he got past the divisional round of the playoffs?
I believe 0.
0. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go that route, Peyton Manning was 2-4 in his first 7 years.
He also got to AFC title games and lost to the greatest quarterback of all time
after his 7 years.
No, he got to AFC title game. That's where the 2 wins came from, and he lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Okay,
and then he started going every year and losing to Tom Brady, and I think he beat Tom Brady twice.
Yeah, that was after they changed the rules of like you can't beat down receivers or something like that, right? So,
well, you also couldn't touch a quarterback.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. So apparently Combs is in the chat, says Jordan Love is trash. Fight me. We will be fighting later, Combs. We will be fighting. And then Jay says Dak chokes more than Kirk Cousins, and that's saying something. Listen, stop giving Kirk Cousins this primetime slander, right? Daniel Jones is a new primetime failure. Daniel Jones has never won a primetime game. So he's like 0-12, I think it is, or something crazy like that, just like that. So it is what it is. But you ready to get into today's show today, Combs?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So I'm going to introduce a new segment today, and it is called Uh-Ohs. There are a few things that are happening across the NFL, some injuries, some call-outs, like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and we need to figure out like if this uh-oh is like, this team is in shambles, or it is what it is, right? So the first thing that I want to talk about is Devon Achane. We talked about this last night on the Power Ranking Show, but he will miss several weeks with a knee injury. This is the leading rookie running back in the NFL. I think he even might be a top 5 rush getter right now in the NFL. He has had 3 straight games of 100-plus yards. So, Combs, we have to ask this question. Are the Miami Dolphins in uh-oh mode without Devon Achane on their roster moving forward, missing at least 3 or 4 games moving forward?
No, this is not an uh-oh. Raheem Mostert is still the premier back on that team. He's had some really good weeks, especially that week that I think he went for 19 touchdowns against the Denver Broncos, something like that. The dude can flat out run. He could flat out run when he was in San Francisco. But this offense is predicated on the pass anyway. They have so many weapons with Jalen Waddle, with Tyreek Hill. Tua has been having a phenomenal season as long as he can stay not dead on the field. Tua has been a premier quarterback in this league this season. I don't think they're going to miss Devon Achane that much. I think it's kind of a plug and play position at running back in Miami anyway.
Yeah, and I think I have to agree with you as well. As much as I wanted to say, yes, this is a huge loss, I totally forgot that Mostert was still on the team. And they still have, Amon, I think is like how you say his name. He's a very good place running back as well. So I do think the Miami Dolphins will be okay. And also, they have a easier game this week in the Carolina Panthers, and then they do play the Eagles, but then they do play the Patriots. So even with Achane in there, they will still probably win 2 of those 3 games anyway. So it is not an uh-oh time for Miami at all. But if it is to carry over, to the playoffs, it might be a uh-oh then, because you do want the fresh set of legs, a nice little rookie legs going in there. So they
put up 70 on the Broncos. What do you think they're going to put up on Carolina?
Listen, the Broncos are just a bad team, and they quit. I don't think we will ever see another 70 piece in the NFL, because of the simple fact of the matter. I think the Dolphins, we gave them a lot of backlash, right? Why are you doing this still? Yes, they did. Mike White threw for like 80 yards or something, and what's his name? Mike McDaniel was like in the stands letting fans call plays and like all this crap. We will never see that ever again. So it might be like a 42-7 type of score. Might put 50 on them, but we are not going to see a 70 piece or a 80 piece or a 90 piece. It's going to be like a 42-point game.
Okay.
Do you disagree? Or
I'm calling for 90.
You're calling for 90? Listen,
maybe 100.
If they run the score up like that, every team in the NFL will come after Mike McDaniels. When they have the opportunity to, they will run up the score every chance they can get.
And if he doesn't run up the score like that, I'm going to come after him.
Why?
Because it would be awesome to watch.
It would be awesome to watch. It would be awesome to see total dismoralization of a team. And
yes,
and like
especially a team that my team has the first overall draft pick of.
You guys are going to get number 2 or number 1 and number 2 overall picks anyways. So
I know
it's
facts.
It is facts. All right, guys, moving on to the next. Jair Alexander in post-game interview from post Monday Night Game, Packers versus Raiders, says, and I quote, "We as a Packers defense needs to stop letting them score touchdowns." So, Combs, we have to look at the obvious here, throw spaghetti at the wall, hopefully something sticks. Is Jair Alexander calling out Jordan Love with his previous statements?
I don't think he's necessarily calling out Jordan Love. I think he's saying that the defense has to be better. If he is calling out Jordan Love, I kind of agree with him. I mean, Jordan Love has to be better. Jordan Love has to hit his passes better. He had at least 4 or 5 passes the other night where he just overthrew or underthrew a wide open wide receiver. He had Christian Watson downfield, overthrown by 6 yards. It was a deep pass that Christian Watson had no chance on getting to, but if you put it in his arms, he's scoring. And it's just a trend that you see with Jordan Love that if you are calling him out, I don't blame you. But I don't think that's what he was doing here. What I think he was doing here was calling out his defensive teammates and telling them, hey, look, we've just got to be better. You know, if our offense isn't going to score, we've got to hold teams to under 10 points.
Combs, first of all, good morning to John. He says, good morning. Good morning to you as well, John. The Packers are going to be A-okay. The Packers are going to be A-okay because their defense is good. Jordan Love is good. And we have to talk about this Jordan Love versus Justin Fields thing. You said it earlier. Jordan Love is trash. Fight me about it. And it is time to fight you about this, okay?
Okay.
The simple fact of the matter is that Jordan Love is better than Justin Fields on every aspect of the game. He is a better athlete. He is a better thrower. He has a better team. He has a better it factor. Jordan Love has come. Let's look at Jordan Love's first 5 starts of his NFL career. Right, he played the Las Vegas Raiders week number 1. They played the Chicago Bears week number 1. That was a dub. That was him coming out 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he did get sacked 1 time, but he flexed on the Chicago Bears. Then they play a very, very good Atlanta Falcons team. They did lose to the Falcons, but they did battle. They did come back in the second half. He did throw for 151 yards. That was when Aaron Jones started to go down. Then they come back and they beat the New Orleans Saints. He throws for 259 yards, 1 touchdown, comebacks from 18-point down, wins that game. And then they did get demoralized versus the Detroit Lions, but that's because on the defensive side of the ball, Jair Alexander let them down. Jordan Love, 246 yards, 1 touchdown, doing his thing. And then he did have a bad game versus the Raiders. He only threw for 182 yards in that particular game and had a 54% completion percentage. But we do have to realize that he has 2 wins already on the season. He has 2 wins on the season, more than Justin Fields. Justin Fields' whole career, he has 6 total wins. So right now, he's a third of the way in 5 games competing with Justin Fields. Jordan Love is better than Justin Fields, hands down.
You forgot about the game before when he put up 20 points against the Lions and threw for 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
He also threw for 246 yards.
So over the last 2 weeks, he's thrown for 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions. Right? But here's the difference. Here's where what you're doing is what everybody else loves to do. Everybody that's been on the Jordan Love bandwagon all season, all the Packers got it right again. It's because he won a game. And then he came back and he had a good 10 minutes versus a Saints defense that was sitting on a 17-point lead. He won another game. And people are like, oh, Jordan Love. Nobody's sitting there and actually looking at what the kid is, because why? What do we say all the time in the NFL? Winning cures all. So when you start comparing quarterbacks and when you start comparing players, you have to realize that every quarterback in this league is in a different situation. They're with a different organization. They're with a different offensive coordinator. They're with different weapons. They're with different everything. What you have to look at is a body of work. And Jordan Love body of work is only 5 games deep. So I do give him that. He can get better. He can potentially be developed. He can potentially grow. However, he is with an offensive-minded head coach who is seen as an offensive genius in the league. He's one of these young offensive genius head coaches, and he is not looking very good. Then when you look at Justin Fields, his first year, I don't count his first year because it was with probably the worst head coach in Bears history. And that's saying something because we've had a lot of bad head coaches in this town. But what Matt Nagy did to him in that season is almost unforgivable. What he did to him in that game with that game plan versus the Browns, where he got sacked, I think he's still getting sacked by the Cleveland Browns defense, actually. Because he got sacked, I believe it was 9 times that game.
Yeah.
You can't take a young quarterback in the league and put him in that situation and then expect him to trust his offensive line afterwards. So let's throw the first year out of it. Then bring in the second year. They went 7 games before deciding, hey, look, we're going to actually go to your strengths. We're going to do what you do best. And what does he do? He starts taking over games. And then what do? Realize they need to start losing games. So in the second half of each game, they go to things that don't work. It's what they were doing last year. This is what, if you watch the games, this is what was going on. But what has he done? He's shown the ability to throw on the run. He's shown the ability to be accurate on the run. He's shown the ability to throw a very accurate deep ball. He throws one of the best deep balls in the entire NFL. After week 7 last year, he had the 4th highest QBR in the league. Only Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and there was one other guy, but it wasn't even Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I think
that was ahead of him in QBR last week after week 7.
I think it was
4th highest QBR in the league. And this kid has shown the ability to do it. Now, you look at what he has around him. You look at an offensive line that couldn't block a pillow if it was thrown at them. You're looking at an offensive play caller that continuously calls for 5 and 7 step drops behind a line that can't block with a mobile quarterback at that. You look at an offensive play caller who has called multiple times play calls that you just don't even see. JT O'Sullivan, who breaks down the all 22 tapes all the time, it actually cracks me up because it always makes me, I make fun of him for the way he said it, but he said it was straight, literally LOL. Because you have these play calls where you have 2 wide receivers lined up on the same side of the field, running the same route to the same sideline 4 yards apart.
That's great play calling.
And then you throw the ball to your out wide receiver, and the other receiver that's running the same damn route thinks the ball's going to him, and he blocks the ball. He's in a different situation. Now, Jordan Love, look, Christian Watson was hurt. Romeo Doubs played okay. He doesn't have a ton of weapons, I'll give him that. But what you're seeing from him is the same thing that we were seeing from Mitch Trubisky for all those years, and we dogged him. But the difference is Jordan Love plays for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love plays on a team that everybody loves. And Jordan Love has won a game. Won 2 games.
2.
And winning cures all. He has not been very good. He has the 3rd lowest QBR in the league. He has the 3rd lowest completion percentage in the league. He overthrows, underthrows, wide open wide receivers all the time. The same way we watched Mitch Trubisky do it. And we give this kid a pass because we want to like him.
Okay.
And ESPN is telling us that it's going to be great. And ESPN is slobbing on his knob all over the place. And we're supposed to just buy into it. Packers fans want him to be good so damn bad that they can't see past the fact and can't believe the fact that after 35 straight years of Hall of Fame quarterback play, that their team could possibly get it wrong at quarterback.
Okay.
Watch the play on the field. They got it wrong at quarterback.
10 minutes of spewing crap out of your mouth, Combs, and you are absolutely wrong on every aspect of that level. So you want to throw away Justin Fields' whole first season. That didn't happen. Okay? So I'm going to pull one better for you. The Raiders game never happened for Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a 500 quarterback right now, a 2-2 quarterback. We're taking the Raiders game out of it just because you can throw a whole away season. I don't care if you had the worst coach ever.
Take the game out of it. He's still got 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
That is fine. He still has a better winning percentage than Justin Fields. And you can say winning does cure all. Winning cures all. All right? Now, you can be a 50% completion percentage, but are you winning games? Yes, we are winning games. Are we doing, do the fans love me? Yes, the fans love me. People are not calling Jordan Love a bust. They're calling Justin Fields a bust. Because any other quarterback that wasn't by the name of Justin Fields at 5-23, or sorry, he's 6-23 now as a starter. He did get that huge win over the Commanders on Thursday. Every other team, every other quarterback that has that type of career winning percentage would be out of the league right now. And you Chicago Bear fans are giving him a pass and a pass and a pass because, he had Matt Nagy as a head coach.
What are you talking about?
You guys you're giving him a pass.
Nobody has given him a pass at all.
You just said throw away the whole first year because he had the worst coach ever.
What I am telling you is when you're looking at the development of Justin Fields, you have to take that out of it because they didn't develop Justin Fields in that system.
When did they develop Jordan Love in their system? It's all been about Aaron Rodgers the last 4 or 5 years. See, I'm right because
they're trying to develop, and I've already said that he might get better. He's only 5 games in, but what you're seeing now is the same difference that you were looking at with Mitch Trubisky. You look at the next 7 games for the Packers: the Broncos, the Vikings, the Rams, the Steelers, the Chargers, the Lions, and the Chiefs.
Not
maybe
easy schedule.
One win out of there.
Maybe one win.
And you're looking at a guy who, coming out of that in Green Bay, might have a record of 3-11.
Still better than Justin Fields his rookie year.
Look. You can sit there all you want and talk about and try to compare. He's better. Yes, he's in a better organization than the Bears.
Well,
here's the problem with Packers fans. They want to be like, we did this to the Bears and we did this. Great. Well, if you're supposed to be such a great organization, why are you comparing yourself to the Bears? We are a shit organization. We are probably the worst organization in the NFL. Compare yourself to the Cowboys. Compare yourself to the Chiefs. Compare yourself to the Patriots over the last 20 years. Compare yourself to those organizations. But they can't. You know why? Because 35 straight years of Hall of Fame quarterback play resulted in 2 Super Bowls. The Patriots had 20 years of quarterback play, resulted in 6 Super Bowls.
Hey, don't you ever bring those facts into this conversation, Combsy.
Jesus. And that's the problem. And Packers fans want to be, the Bears. Okay, great. You beat the Bears. That's like me and Buck going out and going to the Special Olympics and winning a 100-meter race.
Listen, have you seen those guys
about the gold medal?
They're fast. We would not stand a freaking chance. Let's just be honest about that.
Well, okay. How about going and beating a couple of kids from the Perkins School from the Blind in a basketball shooting contest?
Let's do it, baby.
Like, that's the same thing about bragging about beating the Bears. Same thing when they talked about how good Jordan Love looked against the Bears. He was throwing to wide open wide receivers all day because they blew coverages all day because they suck.
Yeah. So Jameson is bringing some logic into this conversation. He says some quarterbacks just take time to develop. Not everyone is going to be good immediately. Fans need to be patient. Slow it down, baby, he says. For instance, Peyton Manning looked like shit his rookie year. So let me ask you this question, Combs. How much time do we give Justin Fields to develop?
Justin Fields?
Or sorry, yeah, Justin Fields, yeah.
Well, Justin Fields has probably I think he's done in Chicago, to be honest with you.
So you think he's out after this season?
Because he's not the GM's guy. He's not the head coach's guy. And even though he's shown the ability to overcome the inept play calling, the inept offensive line, they're probably going to go do something stupid like use the number 1 draft pick on another quarterback, which won't be Caleb Williams, because if he sees the Bears at number 1, he's going back to USC. You're going to draft another quarterback that you're just going to ruin because you've already shown over the history of time that this organization can't develop a quarterback. So to go draft another quarterback would be wasting a pick. What you need to do is build the offensive line and go get yourself, the best wide receiver in the draft out of Ohio State, because that's what they need to do. But they're probably going to go quarterback because that's what the Bears do. And you're going to ruin another kid. So I've already said it. I've said it on the Windy City Sports Talk that we do. I've said it to friends. I've said it at Illinois Media School on the radio show. If they let Justin Fields go, and Justin Fields, let's say he ends up in LA, taking over for Matt Stafford with Sean McVay, he's going to win multiple Super Bowls.
Whoa.
And he's going to be a perennial all-pro quarterback because he's going to be with somebody who knows how to use a quarterback and develop one.
Well, I'm not for sure he can develop a quarterback. He did not be able to develop Jared Goff.
Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl.
But he did not develop him because then, he's not our guy. Get him out of town. Bring in Matthew Stafford.
Jared Goff tried sleeping with his wife.
I mean, who wouldn't? Have you seen his wife?
I mean, Matt Stafford wouldn't.
Matt Stafford's wife's got a good-looking wife, too. But Randall Allen is in the chat. He says, nothing worse than the Bears fans living in 1985.
Bears fans don't... Well, look.
Bears fans live in 85.
Intelligent Bears fans don't live in 1985.
Right.
Intelligent Bears fans, like we've done all for the last year and a half on Windy City Sports Talk, we tell you the truth. It's a trash organization. We've been a trash organization. We've got an owner that only cares about money. We've got an owner that doesn't care about winning because we fill the stadium. I said it yesterday on the show. Yep. The problem is that we still show up to the stadium and fill it because we don't jump ship, because we love our team. But they continuously give us a trash product on the field. As long as the McCaskies are there, we're not going to be able to get a head coach like Eric Bieniemy because of the color of his skin.
He's just not a very
We're not going to be able to progress in the NFL because they won't hire the right staff to do so. And I thought that would change under Ryan Poles. But what you're finding out as more and more information comes is that Ryan Poles really isn't pulling the trigger. The problem is that when Ryan Poles was hired, 2 weeks before that, Matt Eberflus was told that he was going to be given the job, the head coaching job. And when they hired Ryan Poles, they said, hey, look, here's the guys that we're looking at. And Matt Eberflus's name was circled on that paper. And they told him to hire him. That's why he was hired 2 days after. You think Ryan Poles had time to conduct a coaching search in 2 days? No. So that's what I'm saying. They don't allow football people to make football calls. And that's why this organization has been so bad. And I'm not living in 1985. I'm telling you as a Packer fan, stop comparing yourself to the Bears, because it's like it's like me going outside right now and sitting down next to my dog's pile of shit and saying, you know what? I'm a little bit better than this. Like, it's the same thing.
Right. So John Peebles is in the chat. What is up, John? Good morning to you as well, sir. He says Kyler Murray to Chicago. Kyler Murray seems like he is on his way out of Arizona. They loving them some Josh Dobbs for whatever reason. They are they're playing for their coach right now. So would the Bears make a play on a player like Kyler Murray?
They love Caleb Williams.
Do they?
They don't love Josh Dobbs. They don't love and they shouldn't. Kyler Murray. I was never big on Kyler Murray. I'm not a Kyler Murray guy.
Likewise.
I don't think he's coming to. I mean, why would you bring him into Chicago? It would make no sense. At that, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just extend Justin Fields and give him the Jordan Love treatment and say, hey, look, we're gonna do more to build around you, and we're gonna give you 1 or 2 more years to prove yourself, because Caleb Williams isn't going to come to you in this draft.
Zach Wilson to the Bears. Hoffy, get off your
quarterback
trolls.
Is not the issue.
Quarterback is the issue. That's just that.
Quarterback is not the issue. Offensive play call is the issue. Head coaching that is inept. Defensive coordinator who is actually now our head coach, because our other defensive coordinator decided to have porn on his computer and they busted him, but nobody wants to talk about that here in Chicago. So now it's just our head coach calling defensive plays, and they've given up 20 plus points in 19 straight games now.
So let's just not say it's porn. It was child porn. It was freaking gross. Let's just be honest about that. It was child porn.
Well, they haven't come out. Some people said it might have been drugs, but that's the thing. It's been so stupidly quiet about it. Like, that's another problem with the Bears organization. They don't talk to you. They don't tell you, hey, this is what we have going on. This is what we have going. Like, it's radio silence about stuff that we know happened.
Right. All right. So Randall Allen says, back to work, guys. Good show, even with the Bears fan. Randall, thank you for joining us today, man. And then Hoffy, Mr. Statistician himself in the back there, says, Jared Goff went 19 for 38 in the Super Bowl for 229 yards and lost 13-3. Can we really say he played in a Super Bowl? I mean, he did play in a Super Bowl.
Year?
Didn't they? The Rams played the.
Was it the Patriots?
No, it wasn't the Patriots. Who did they play? I can't remember. Cause the Patriots haven't been to a Super Bowl for a long time. Was it the Chiefs? No, it wasn't the Chiefs. I can't remember, to be honest.
It might have been the Chiefs.
I cannot remember. It was the Patriots, said Hoffy. So it was the Patriots. So it was that long ago when Jared Goff and the Rams went to the Super Bowl. Shoot, that was like, what, 2016? That seems like forever ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now.
Yeah. John says, and one player isn't going to fix that cluster fuck in Chicago. Ooh. Listen. We thought that about Houston as well. We didn't think C.J. Stroud was going to totally turn around that organization. Yes, they did draft the defensive tackle in the 3rd pick as well. So they did have 2 top picks. I mean, if the Chicago Bears, if they are on their trade right now, and the Carolina Panthers are on their path right now, the Bears will have a number 1 and number 2 overall pick. They could definitely turn around that organization in one draft, like the Houston Texans, as long as they do the draft correctly, as long as they
It was 2019 versus the Patriots.
2019. Wow, it was 5-6 years ago, right? But they can definitely turn it around in Chicago if they, I guess, let Ryan Poles.
Who did he say wasn't going to turn it around? Caleb Williams?
No, he says one player isn't going to fix that clusterfuck in Chicago.
No, it's not the players. That's what I'm trying to get through to. Have you watched the last 2 weeks? They've shown that this offense can be explosive. The problem is the coaching staff. We have a head coach that is so far out of his element. It's insane. We have a defensive scheme by a defensive genius head coach that runs a cover 2 where your linebackers fall forward towards the quarterback and your safeties fall out towards the end zone, leaving the entire center of the field wide open.
They're supposed to be manned up on the outside, but
it is terrible.
Speaking of terrible, we are going to introduce another segment here onto the Man Hour, and that is Panic or Patience. Jameson said it right here, and we have it written down here in the rundown. He says Patriots owner Robert Kraft is going to fire Bill Belichick if they don't start winning soon, according to CBS Sports. So, Combs, we do have that right here with the Panic or Patience segment coming up. The New England Patriots do drop to 1-4 on the season after another 30-point loss in their back-to-back weeks, 34-0 loss to the New Orleans Saints. So we kind of talked about this, touched on it a little bit yesterday, but is it time to panic in New England right now with the 1-4 record?
I mean, yes, they're not a very good team. Mac Jones is not a very good quarterback right now. Some people are saying it's the system. Some people are saying if he went somewhere else, he would be a better quarterback. I'm not so sure I believe that. I'm also not so sure that the 20-year reign of the Patriots wasn't more Tom Brady than it was Bill Belichick. But what I'm going to tell you is that Robert Kraft loves Bill Belichick. And there is no way that he would ever fire Bill Belichick midseason. What he will do is he will wait till the end of the season and he will tell Bill Belichick, hey, look, it's time for us to move on. We need you to resign. And that's how that will go down. It will not go down as he got fired, even though we'll all know.
Yeah.
And you can always read between the lines. But it will be a step down. It will not be a firing. And I mean, it would have to take an act of God for them to do it midseason, especially Robert Kraft with Bill Belichick, because them two are very close. Now, they haven't always seen eye to eye, because Bill Belichick did want to go with Jimmy G over Tom Brady for some reason. So what did Robert Kraft do? He traded Jimmy G. There's nothing in me that sees them firing Bill Belichick midseason.
Yeah, so one thing we see about the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, right, is in years past, it was nice to see him, we're going to move on to Cincinnati. We're moving on to Cincinnati. We're moving on to Cincinnati, right? But now the last 2 weeks he has said, we have to restart. We have to restart. We have to restart. When he said we need to move on to Cincinnati, they went on a tear. Hell, I think they went to the Super Bowl that year and won the Super Bowl. So obviously the Bill Belichick effect, right, has kind of worn off, right? We have an old school, hard-nosed coach with some new school, everything gets catered to me players, right? There is definitely some type of clash happening, and we are seeing it unfold. Last season, when Mac Jones arguably had one of the worst offensive coordinators of all time, and Matt Patricia, when he reached out to other offensive coordinators saying, hey, what do I do? What do I do? What can we do? Bill Belichick was not happy about that. And I feel like he has been holding a grudge ever since then. And I would not put it past Bill Belichick to be holding that grudge still, and holding the grudge to the New England Patriots, to holding the grudge to Mac Jones right now, saying, you know what? You did this to me last season. Ha, ha, ha. I'm going to put you in the worst opportunities, the worst positions ever, just to show you that I am right. And it is definitely time to panic in New England. We have seen it kind of starting to surface ever since the signing of Cam Newton, 3 years ago, right? Mac Jones took over Cam Newton's spot, and it has just been surfacing and surfacing and surfacing, and winning cured all. Mac Jones' rookie year last season started to rise to the top. Bring in Bill O'Brien. We're getting excited. It's starting to rise back up to the top. So a broke clock is right twice a day, but right now Bill Belichick's clock is just moving in slow motion. It is like a minute and a half off, so it's never going to be right ever. And it is definitely time to panic in New England 100%.
The thing that I will say about Belichick is that when he was saying we're moving on to Cincinnati, but now he's saying we need to reset, is because when they were moving on to Cincinnati, he knew they were good.
Right.
He knew he had a quarterback that could bring him through it. Now he's saying we need to reset because he knows it's not going to get much better.
So how do you reset? Do you bring in a new quarterback? Do you make a push to bring in Trey Lance? We all know he loves him some Trey Lance. Do you bring in Jordan Love? Do you make a push?
Whatever you do, it's at the end of the season.
So there's nothing mid-season. So they're going to be total tank mode.
Yeah, it's not. I think they might see what they have in Bailey Zappi. I know a lot of the fans over there in New England are calling for it now already.
Wingy.
But you're not going to bring in a quarterback at this point in the season to try to learn this offense, to try to learn something new mid-season in a team that at that point, let's say, might be 2-6. It's not going to salvage your season. You're not, and any quarterback that you're going to get is not a starting quarterback in this league.
So Hoffy answers the question: does Bill Belichick surpass Don Shula on the all-time win record? Aren't they?
How many wins does he need?
I thought they were like within 10, I think it was, or 18. I don't see it happening.
I thought it was really close. I thought it was like 5 or 6, but
yeah, either way, 5 or 6 is still like 2 years down the road still, right? Like at this point for New England. So it is going to be tough. Maybe that's the reason why Robert Kraft hasn't moved on from Bill Belichick yet, because Robert Kraft wants to put that feather in his hat, like saying, hey, we have the all-time winningest head like head coach. We have this, we have that, for a bargaining mechanism for a new coach. And I saw Hoffy said bring in Jared Mayo as the head coach and find a GM that knows how to draft. So,
yeah. So Don Shula has 328 wins. George Halas is second with 318 wins, and Bill Belichick is third with 298. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, unless Bill Belichick.
So what he needs goes? Was it 20 that he needs? Is that what it was?
He needs 30.
30
to tie him. 31 to take over.
So
I mean, that's at least what? That's three years of 10 wins or more.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not going to happen as a New England head coach.
Even if you go undefeated, 17-0 in the next 2 seasons, that's still not, like, you still need 3 full seasons to surpass it. Jameson says, I think it's possible a midseason step down is possible because there's no sign of life from the Patriots team. If they lose by 30 to Las Vegas, then that might happen.
You're
3 straight 30.
Math.
What?
You're so bad at math.
Why am I so bad?
You said even if he goes undefeated 2 straight years, 17-0, that he wouldn't get to 30 wins. That would be 34, actually.
Whatever. It is what it is. The Patriots can go 17-0 and still miss the playoffs. So with that being said, if the Patriots do have the 3rd consecutive loss of 30 points or more, Combsy, do we see a midseason step down?
It's possible.
It's possible.
I wouldn't throw it out the window.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
but it won't be a firing. Even if it happens mid-season, it won't be a firing. It'll be a step down.
Yeah, 100% step down. Or we are putting him strictly in the front office, right?
Or they trade him.
They trade him to the Saints, right? Hoffy says, F Bailey Zappi. They cut him, and 30 other teams passed on him, not having him as a backup. But he's still not a starting quarterback. So it is what it is. All right, moving on to the next one here. We have one panic or patience mode here. The Washington Commanders did lose to your Chicago Bears on Thursday by 20, giving them a 2-3 record on the season. We all have seen the writing on the wall. The new ownership wants to win. Magic Johnson and those boys want to win over and over and over again. So we have to ask the question, Combsy, is it time to panic or be patient in Washington moving forward?
It's time to panic. I mean, Sam Howell for the first 2 weeks kind of looked like maybe they found a diamond in the rough. He looks pretty bad right now. What I saw the other night looks pretty bad right now. They might be a team that fires their head mid-season, which I don't want to see, by the way, because I think Eric Bieniemy would take over as their head coach, and maybe they would keep him as their head coach, and then the Bears couldn't get him as their head coach. But I mean, their schedule too is not very easy.
Not at all.
And I just don't know how they turn this thing around because they look really bad. They did have a couple of tough games before the Bills and the Eagles, but then that loss to the Bears. I mean, look, the Bears went off offensively, but you couldn't do anything to take advantage of the Bears' defense at all to keep pace with them. And now you're going to play the Falcons, and you're going to play the Giants and the Eagles again, and the Patriots and the Seahawks. Like, you don't have an easy schedule. You might beat the Patriots. You maybe might split against the Giants, but I just don't see any way this team is a playoff team. And they were a darling pick to maybe win the NFC East at the beginning of the season.
Maybe not to win the NFC East, but they were definitely going to be in that playoff conversation, right? They were right there. But to add to your point there, I do think the Commanders are in panic mode. I think Ron Rivera, River Ron, as they like to call him in the dirty South, his course has run its course, right? It is time for him to step away, enjoy retirement, mourn his losing that he had last season. But to say that Eric Bieniemy is kind of like the savior in Washington, you guys need to slow it way down there. There's a reason why Eric Bieniemy got passed over on head coaching job after head coaching job after head coaching job. It is because he was not the play caller in Kansas City. He was not the guru that people, like everybody thought he was, right? And then he transitions to Washington. It was not even, preseason wasn't even over yet, and the players were saying, oh, he's too hard on us. He is making us do this, and this, and we don't like it. So if they do officially panic in Washington, fire Ron Rivera, make Eric Bieniemy intern head coach, it will prove the simple fact of the matter that Eric Bieniemy is not a very good head coach. He will not be a very good head coach. He has an old school mentality with new school players, and he doesn't have any legs to stand on. He is going to be like Matt Patricia in Detroit, right? Great rah guy, my way or the highway. Well, guess what? He is going to be the one getting the highway. So, Combs, for you to say that the Chicago Bears need Eric Bieniemy, they need this. You guys need a coach that is willing to shape the team. But it is officially time to panic in Washington. 2-3 record. You do have the Patriots and the Giants coming up, but you still got to play the Cowboys. You still got to play the Eagles twice. It is not an easy schedule for them whatsoever. It is officially time to panic and hit the panic button hard. Seem like you have something to say.
You say that Eric Bieniemy wasn't all this when he was in Kansas City. That offense has been completely off all season long without Eric Bieniemy. That Chiefs offense has been not clicking on all cylinders like it was when Eric Bieniemy was there. I think it kind of shows that maybe Eric Bieniemy does do something.
Well, he definitely does
that it
something.
Shows maybe Eric Bieniemy does deserve a chance, and I think that Eric Bieniemy in Chicago would turn Justin Fields' career around.
So one thing that Eric Bieniemy does is he was the rah guy. He was the glue that kept everything together, right? He would hold players accountable, right? Because we heard it in Washington. He is too hard on us. He is holding us accountable. He does do that. And Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs right now, doesn't do that. So it is a kind of a double-edged sword. Can you have a head coach that is going to hold players accountable without being without the backing of success? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that he can, and I think that that's exactly what a team like the Chicago Bears needs. They need somebody who's going to hold accountable, because every week after week, I hear Matt Eberflus on the mic at the stand making excuses. And anytime that he wants to point fingers and anytime that he wants to say something that they got to do better, it's never the coaching staff has to do better. It's never the coaching staff has to do this, or we have to make better play calls, or we have to do it. It's always something different, and it's excuses.
Right.
And they need that accountability, and I think that that's what Eric Bieniemy brings to the table, and I think that he could actually turn this team around.
So Jameson says Eric Bieniemy already should be Washington's head coach, and they should trade for Trey Lance.
Ooh. I don't know. People are on that Trey Lance thing. I'm not a big Trey Lance guy either.
Listen, there's a reason why he was third string quarterback in San Francisco.
Behind Brock Purdy.
No, but behind Sam Darnold. The guy that got cut from the Jets, cut from the Panthers. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Trey Lance that says I want to put my name on the next 5 years with him.
Yeah. Maybe a 1-year deal somewhere. The Cowboys need to give Trey Lance a shot, says Bobby Neal, another Trey Lance guy.
Oh, God.
Listen, Cooper Rush is the backup. And last season when Cooper Rush came in for 3 or 4 games, the Cowboys were undefeated with him. So maybe Cooper Rush is the guy.
Would you go away from Dak right now?
No, because I think Dak is a top 10 quarterback in the league, and I just think he needs so the Dallas Cowboys have a very, very tough schedule moving forward, right? They still got to play the Eagles. They still got to play the Giants. They play the Lions. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I do know that their slated games moving forward, that the teams that they play have a 600 winning percentage. So they have the hardest schedule in the NFL moving forward. You do not want to put in a Cooper Rush in there. That is going to really minimize your offensive explosive ability. You do not want to bring in a Trey Lance that doesn't know the offense at all and has 3 starts under his belt, I think it was.
The next 6 games are against the Chargers, Rams, Eagles, Giants, Panthers, and Commanders.
Okay, so might go 3-3 in that stretch.
You could go 4-2 in that stretch, maybe even 5-1.
Versus, so you think they're going to lose to the Eagles, right?
They're going to lose to the Eagles most likely, but you could beat the Chargers on Monday night. You can definitely beat the Rams. The Giants shouldn't even be on your level. The Panthers might not win a game all season, and the Commanders, we were just talking about how dysfunctional they are.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But, guys, that is going to be it for the Man Hour today. Tomorrow, Thursday Night Football is with us. We're going to be breaking down some Thursday Night Football. Broncos versus Chiefs. We're going to give you 3 ways that each team can win, and maybe some over-under.
Can you think of 3 ways the Broncos can win that game?
Yeah, I can.
I can't.
I will take the Broncos and you take the Chiefs.
Okay. Chiefs, 1, show up. 2, show up. 3, show up.
Bobby Neal says the Cowboys have already had Dak like 10 years to prove himself, and they need a new quarterback.
I mean, look, if he goes over that next stretch that we just talked about, and he only goes 3-3, I might be with him on that.
If they do go 500 in the next stretch, we will be probably looking at a quarterback change. But if they go 5-1 or 6-0, we'll be talking about GOAT status, baby.
That's a lot of money sitting on your bench.
That is. Dak is trash. This shows that Dak is not trash, Jameson. This shows that he is just as good, if not better, than Peyton Manning.
Lamar's trash, right?
Lamar is trash. All right, send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.